Okay, I think we can start. Most of the attendees are here, so first of all, good afternoon to everyone, and thank you for joining our webinar on the topic of shared and active mobility, which is organized as part of the Terrain project, which is funded by the Interreg-Adrian program. Sorry, if you can mute yourself just for a second. Yeah, thank you. My name is Orsat Lale, and I'm the head of the Project and Technology Transfer Office at the Faculty of Transport and Traffic Sciences. I will be your moderator today, and we planned this webinar for a little bit over 1 hour, in which we will focus on good practices in the field of active and shared mobility. We will start with a short introduction from our lead partner, CERT from Greece. Ms. Likeria will give us a short introduction. Also, Vice Dean Professor Babic from our faculty, as the host of today's webinar, will also give you a short introduction. After that, we will proceed with the good practices which were detected in our project activities. So we will sum it up with discussion and conclusion at the end of our webinar. That is a short introduction from my side. Now I leave the floor to Glikeria as the representative of our lead partner, CERT.
Hello, good morning to everyone. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
I suppose yes, right? Okay, so also I cannot share my screen.
I will share it, don't worry.
I cannot hear you very well. I'm in Crete in EU Share Forum, so the connection is very bad here in Crete.
I will share the screen, don't worry.
No. Perfect. I'm not sure if you can.
We can hear you a little bit. Not.
Can you hear me now? Just make me something like that. You can hear me.
Yeah. You can start, Keria. Okay, so our lead partner is having some issues with the connection or with.
So I cannot hear anything. I can.
Okay. Okay, so Glikeria is probably on some other project meeting in the area. Yeah, okay. So then we can continue with, sorry for some issues at the very beginning of our webinar. So I hope that Vice Dean Professor Babic is connected. If not, then me as the moderator, I will also give you a short introduction about our faculty and our project activities as the host of this webinar. So just in some short notes, the Faculty of Transport and Traffic Sciences, we are the part of the University of Zagreb, and we are, apart from teaching activities, we are also involved in resolving transport-related issues in whole Croatia and through these projects on EU level. We are partner in this project as a lead of the cluster of active and shared mobility. We have a lot of experience in this area in Croatia, in which we work with our cities and all the local communities to improve these active and shared mobility solutions with the goal of changing modal split and towards sustainability. Maybe we can, since we lost 5 or 10 minutes with the technical issues, I hope that we can start with the presentations. So Mr. Peter will present a Ghent circulation plan, which was ambitious plan for the change of modal split in the city of Ghent. So it's really interesting EU good practice. So please, Mr. Peter, if you can hear, please tell me if you want me to share the screen or will you share the screen?
Good morning. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can share it. It's all right. I've sent you the presentation. You shared it. It's okay for me.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, there it comes. Okay.
Yeah.
So good morning. I'm from the city of Ghent in Belgium. Ghent is in the northern part of Belgium, the Dutch-speaking part of Belgium. And here, first of all, I will talk about a circulation plan that has been introduced in 2017. But first of all, let me say something about Ghent. The city has about 270,000. No, I need the. Yeah, the city has 270,000 inhabitants. And here you see a map of the southern part, the inhabited part of the city. Around the city, far from the city, you have the R4, which is a major ring road. And then we have the R40, and that's in the middle. It's the minor ring road around the city center. And we will talk about the area within this R40. It has about the area within the R40, the inner ring road, has a surface of about 7 square kilometers, has about 60,000 inhabitants, and this R40 ring road is about 11 kilometers long. Here's the next one. Yeah. The key moments in our mobility planning, just interesting to know, we started with a cycling plan in 1992, and it's still ongoing. So we have lots and lots of bicycle infrastructure. And in 1997, we introduced our mobility plan for the inner city. And if I have the next one, please. Yeah, that's the situation in the city heart, the real city heart of Ghent. You see the 3 iconic towers in the city heart of Ghent. It was in about the late 80s of the previous century. And you see the city was really infested with cars, with parking cars, with cars going through the city center. It was really horrible. And at that moment, we introduced this mobility plan for the inner city, which involved the creation of a pedestrian area in the city heart. And so we removed all the cars from the city heart, and that's the situation nowadays. But then 20 years later, and can I have the next one? We again introduced a new plan, and it's called then the circulation plan, but that was really for the whole area within the R40 inner ring road, and it was introduced 3rd of April 2017, so now 8 years ago. Yes, the next one. And why did we need to introduce it? Because here you see a graph of the population growth in Ghent. And at the turn of the century, we had about 225,000 inhabitants. And by now, we are even over 270,000 inhabitants. So a large increase. And it meant also an increase in cars. And if I can have the next one. Yeah, here you see, but the scheme, the area in the middle of the scheme is our pedestrian area. And in this pedestrian area, everything was nice, everything was fine. But we found out that still a lot of car traffic entered the area within the R40 and then transited and got out in the north. And that was about 11% of all traffic within this area within the R40 was just through car traffic. And then we saw also that about 30% was traffic that entered, for instance, in the south and then drove into the city center, just bypassed the pedestrian area and went further north to reach a destination in the north. So they used the area within the R40 for a large part of the journey instead of using the ring road. Almost 10% even was just car journeys within this area of the R40, and about half of the people, the car drivers, did what they were supposed to do. That was just following the ring road as much as possible. But still, 20 years after our first mobility plan, we still felt there was too much motorized traffic in the city. We had traffic jams, and once you exited the pedestrian area, there was really, again, a situation of far too much traffic. So if I can have the next one. So we wanted to decrease the car traffic in this area within the R40, and our goals were, of course, increase livability by keeping motorized transit traffic out of the city center, and as such, we could ensure better accessibility for all modes. So if I can have the next one. And how did we keep out through traffic? Well, the cars have to use the city ring road to reach their destination. And we divided the whole area within the R40, within this inner ring road, we divided it in a number of sectors. And going from one sector to another is only possible by using the ring road. And of course, we had extra measures to facilitate modal shift, like park and ride systems. The traffic flow on the city ring was improved. We have shuttle buses to the center. But yes, the next one. Yeah, here you can see more or less the before and after situation on a scheme. The before situation, so in the middle, there was this pedestrian area, but you could enter the city and you could bypass the pedestrian area and you could exit it in the north. In the after situation, you can clearly see you can enter a sector, but if you want to go to another sector, you really have to go back to the ring road, follow the ring road, and enter the sector again. So it was not possible anymore to go from one sector to another without using the ring road. Yes. And so we had these 6 sectors. And if I have the next one, please. Yeah, here you see these 6 sectors. Yes, the next one. And that's the pedestrian area. And by the way, in 2017, we extended the pedestrian area a bit to the north and to the south. So we have also increase the surface of the pedestrian area. But so cars entering a sector can reach a destination within the sector. But if you comes from the north and you want to reach a sector, a destination in the north, you really now have to use the ring road. Yes, the next one. And how do we prevent traffic going through? Well, we have blocks, bollards, paint, plant benches to make clear to the car drivers, watch out, here this is a forbidden zone, you can't cross the boundaries, of course, the traffic signs, but the end is it is supervised by ANPR cameras. This is automatic number plate recognition, and we have a limited number of people who have an authorization to cross the boundaries, but most of the people are not. So the camera takes a picture. If you're on the white list, nothing happens. If you're not, you get a fine of 58 euros. Yes, the next one. So what are the results on model shift, on traffic livability, traffic safety, accessibility? Let's have the next one, please. Well, a model shift. Oh yes, we did find the model shift. The number of bicycles coming in or out of the city center rose by 60%. The bicycles within the city center by 50%. And the motorized traffic in and out of the city center decreased by 17%. And we had also a slight increase in the use of public transport by 6%. Walking, well, we didn't find any effects on walking. Can I have the next? And here you see the evolution of the model split. We had traffic surveys every 3 years. In 2012, you can see the upper line is the line for the car as a driver. And you see we in 2012, so 13 years ago, we were still at 47 or even almost 48% of all journeys made by car driver. And it went clearly down. And in 2021, it was just a third. And the same, and the second line is for the bicycle, and you see it went from 20.7% to about a third of all journeys nowadays. We don't have the 2024 results, but I'm sure it will be in the same line. And then you see pedestrians hovers around 12-13%. And there was a slight increase in public transport use, but that was just before COVID. And in COVID times, it dropped again, and we didn't recover yet from this drop. Yes, the next one, please. Well, then traffic livability, accessibility. Of course, if you have less cars, you have better air quality. We took out 60% of transit traffic, and especially in the residential streets and the most main roads within this area, there is less traffic and there is a strong reduction in traffic jams. For cars, we even found that the travel time to the city center decreased. Why? Because you were not mixed with transit car traffic. The transit car traffic was now on the ring road. But yes, the travel time on the ring road increased a bit with 10%. And especially for cyclists, there's less cars, there's more infrastructure. So it's a safer and more pleasant ride. And you can use all the numbers. We didn't experience a very net increase in cyclists. That's the next one. Of course, it didn't come just like this. The plan in itself is just a technical plan, and it's quite easy to implement. We did it actually overnight, changing traffic signs, but we took 2.5 years to prepare it because participation, information, communication is very, very important. Yes, the next one. Here, so we had various channels for information. We had at least 2 meetings per sector. We did conversation with the public at large, specific target groups, shopkeepers, enterprises, schools, whatever you can imagine. We had talks with it. We engaged 2 Mobi coaches, where two persons who worked outreaching and went to schools and enterprises to talk about the changes that would occur and how they could anticipate to it. And afterwards, we had even a citizens forum for evaluation. Yes, the next one. And communication, okay, before, even during the, someone has the mic on. What's happening, somebody? Do you all, yeah. So during the implementation, we had stewards on the street explaining people what was happening. And yes, the next one. And then afterwards, even we had some promotion campaigns. It says, you want to go another time to Ghent, easy, a piece of cake, very easy. So that was, the communication was also very important and very intensive. So the next one. So I come to the end of my brief presentation, and I would be happy to take some questions if you have any, because I'm not able to attend until the end of the webinar.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peter. Thank you for a really great presentation. It's a great example how to change mobility behavior in cities and how to best approach the public and gain their acceptability. Really great numbers in the change of model split. So definitely something for other local communities and cities, a good example how to change model split towards sustainability. Since you are unavailable at the end of the webinar, we will, if someone has some question for Mr. Peter, we will have a 5-minute Q&A for this good practice. So if anyone has any question, please.
I have one question.
Okay. I think this is Professor Slavul from the faculty. He is also a member of the director of our board in the ZET, which is public transport operator in Zagreb. So definitely someone dealing with the mobility. So yes, Mr. Slavul, go on.
I think I was in Ghent in 2012, and we saw something as start of this your implementation of this project. But maybe one question about fines. How many fines you have per year, for example?
You mean fines for trespassing the pedestrian area?
Entering, yes.
Yes. Oh, thousands of them. It's on the decrease because, well, I must say in the beginning, we were not able to fine everybody, but now our systems are so that everybody who enters the pedestrian area or who crosses a boundary is checked by the cameras and is checked by personnel. So everybody is checked, but a number of thousands of fines, even still foreign people from France, the Netherlands, Germany, but also people going into Ghent and not paying attention, or people maybe on purpose entering pedestrian areas, but we still have a number thousands of those kind of fines. But we have seen at the sector boundaries, there's really a drop, and in some boundaries we have a couple of fines, just a couple of fines on a day, 2 or 3 on a day. So it is dropping, and we expect it will be dropping more and more over time as people get more and more used to it. But we still have number of thousands of fines.
Thank you. Great presentation.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for question. Thank you for answer. It's really the presentation was short, but the main details were well presented. So thank you for that. Now we have to proceed with the next presentation, which will be held by Mr. Mario Rodriguez Martinez. He is the head of the Bicing system in Barcelona, which is a bicycle sharing system in the city of Barcelona, which is a bit special because it's focused on the daily commuters, on local inhabitants. So it's not focusing on tourists. So, Mr. Mario, please, I will share your presentation. I'm not sure if you are able to share it.
You can share my presentation, please, because I don't have here my computer. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, it's a really pleasure to collaborate in this webinar and explain the Bicing case. The time is short. Okay, now let's go to the next one. Okay, and what is Bicing? Bicing is a public bike-sharing service of the city of Barcelona, and this point is very important because it's not a public transport; it's a service of sharing. And this point is very important for us and for the council because the strategic and operational decisions every day are taken with a bike sharing, not with a model of public transport. Okay, and the model is a traditional dock station. And the traditional dock station in the city is very important for the order of the city. Barcelona has a high density of a city. Okay, and it's very important to put order not only in the service of bike sharing, also for another service, a public service, because the city is a small city, and we have a 1 million or practically 2 million of citizens in a short space. No, and now we have 7,600 bikes. Practically 4,000 electrical bikes, the rest of muscular bikes. It's a service with a high intensive in users. And today we have 164,000 users. And practically 80% of these users use the service during the year. Okay, it's really important. And the last year we had practically 19 million of trips. And today we have 527 stations, but in the final of these years, maybe we will grow in 40 stations more, and the next year complete all the contract in the number of stations with practically 600 stations. The tariffs of the service are more simple. The user can buy a tariff for use the service during 1 year, and then for this 50 euros. Okay, and then this tariff including 30 minutes free in the mechanical bikes, and pay only 0.3 euros per this slot of the time of 30 minutes in electrical bikes. Okay, and the next one, please. The Bicing government is stranger maybe because it's a three parties. Okay, for on the one hand, the council, no, the council of Barcelona is the service owner. Okay, and pays of the service to the operator, take strategical decisions, and decides the tariffs of the users. BCM, sorry, in Spanish, is a public company of the council, and we have the order to manage the service and collaborate with the council to take the strategic decisions. Okay, and then in the final hand, we have the operator is a joint venture with the Pedalem. Okay, it's a joint venture between PBSC or Live Now that this company provides about the assets of this service, the bikes, the station, and also the software. And Serveo, the all ferrovial service, that is a very expertise in the manage of the public service. Okay. This is a very standard system, but the collaboration between these three parties is very special in this service. And today, in the past also, is very important and also is very good. Okay, and the next one, please. short story of Bicing. Bicing in Barcelona started in 2007 with the Bicing 1. Okay, the operator in this service was Clear Channel, and the service during 10 years, practically 10 years, 11 years, was complete all mechanical bikes. The first stations that appears in the past in the public bike sharings. Today, if you compare with the current service, was a basic service. Okay, mechanical bikes, basic stations. The software was only to give and to the bikes in the stations, but no more. And then in 19, the council changed the service to the next service, Bicing 2, okay, with a new operator, with a new structure of the government of the service, okay, and now I think that the service is in continuous evolution. For example, now we are working in this new plan of the increase the station and also the bikes, okay, and change the mechanical bikes to electrical bikes. And the evolution of the contract is quite good. And also finish this contract Bicing 2 in 29. Maybe the next Bicing 3 is including the metropolitan region, but today is not clear. Okay, and the evolution of the user and the trees in this service is also increasing a positive numbers. Okay. Started the second service in 19 with practically 100,000 users, and today we have 164,000 users, and also the trips. And in this point, it's very important because Bicing is the service with the highest ratio of the trips per bike per day if you compare with another bike sharings in Europe. Okay, maybe Paris is the high service in Europe, but in the ratio trips per bike per day is Bicing with practically 8 trips per bike, the highest service. Okay, next one. Okay, why is Bicing a success in this business? Okay, I put 4 reasons for this success. Okay, the first reason is the network station density. It's very important at this point in the public bike sharing, and also it's very intensive if you use the model of dock stations. Okay. And now we have ratios to compliance with the technical requirements, is that we have stations practically in 200 meters, separate among in 200 meters. Also, we respect a lot the ratio. This is a normal ratio in the bike sharing, the 2:1, 2 docks for 1 bike. Okay. And we respect this ratio, this law. Okay, and also we have stations with an average of 27 docks, and it's very important that the station has the possibility to receive or to give bikes to the users in high number. Okay, and the density practically is 5 stations per square kilometer. Okay, this is very important. The density, because improve the user experience. For example, if a user arrives at a station, it's not possible to park the bike because the station is full. The user has another station with a few minutes, okay, to park the bike and to finish the service. No, and also it's very important to interconnect the city, the neighborhoods. Okay. Because sometimes in another service put stations with no interconnection between these neighbors, and it's very complex to manage the service, and also the user experience maybe is poor. Okay, the next one. Okay, this is a interactive slide. Okay, with the video. This is in the video you can see the planning of to change the stations with the first service and to the second service. Okay. And the deployment was amazing and an excellent planning, and it's a good case to analyze for the future bike servings in Europe, no? Because was an excellent planning between the constructions to the connection, electrical connection, and also with the remove the first service and to deploy the second service was really the planning was an excellent. Okay. And for this point, the service was not suspended with the user. It's true that the user did take a bike for the first service. Was mandatory to park this bike in the station for the first service, but the service continues in the city in this process. That during 3 months to change practically 450 stations for the old service to the new service. Okay. The next service, the next slide, please. Okay. The 3 point to start the Bicing is the rebalancing of the system. Bicing use software to apply the AI software to move the bikes in the service with a logical. In the past, in the first service, this technology was not possible, and the service started the day, no, and moved to go to the station, take all the bikes, go to the second station, and drop off all the bikes. And this is not a good system. And now in the second service, the operator used this software, and this software move the bikes with a logical sense. Okay. And for this, we improve a lot in this service the fulls and the empties in the stations of the service, and this is improve also the user experience. Okay. Also, the bike moves more in the city. Okay. For example, the kilometers that you can ride with the electrical bikes is more than the mechanical bikes, and the bikes come back to the regions of the people, of the citizens started at the morning, no? And also was a very important point. Okay. And special operations, for example, in the summer we have the beach, no, is the stations near of the beach. We have special protocols or special operations to improve the balancing in these integrations. Okay. And the next one, please. Okay, and the final why the final point to explain that Bicing is a success is the appropriate model and management, not only for my company, for BSM, also for the council and the operator. Okay, I think that these 3 parties are very professional agents in this service. Okay. And also all the parts in this service have very clear ideas about what is Bicing, and this point is very important because you take the decisions with logical models or logical things, no? And also the council and also my company BSM improve the service with the mobility SaaS service that we have. Is this software SMO? Okay. And I think that is using SMO is improve the service because we put more availability to the another device, because also we can take a parking or another public transport service. Okay. And I think that is all for my side.
Okay, Thank you very much for another great presentation. It's a really good example how to give an alternative to the people driving their cars and setting the preconditions to change the model split within the city. The accessibility of the stations are impressive and the whole infrastructure. So thank you very much for your presentation. Hopefully we will have some questions at the end of the webinar. So now we will proceed with Mr. Peter Dalos, who will present us a good example from Budapest, in which they reorganized the chain bridge. The famous historic bridge in the Budapest was reconstructed in 2021, and they reorganized the traffic. So Mr. Peter will present this good practice for us. So Mr. Peter, if you can share your presentation, you can do it now, or I can share the PDF which you've sent
I will
me.
share my presentation. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Hello, everybody. I'm working on the Mobility Development Directorate of BKK Center for Budapest Transport. And we also have a very nice bike sharing scheme in Budapest, but today I would like to speak about the chain bridge, which is a very old 175 years old bridge in the middle of Budapest. It was the first permanent bridge in Hungary, opened in 1849. It was initiated by Count István Széchenyi and designed by William Turney Clark and Adam Clark. The last reconstruction we finished in 2023 after 1.5 year closure of the bridge. And you can see on the right side that it's really in the middle of the city, in the downtown, next to several other bridges in Budapest. It was made permanently car-free after a half-year test period and online referendum, where 80% of the approximately 140,000 people voted for car-free, congestion-free bridge. Currently, it is open for buses, bikes, motorbikes, pedestrians, taxis, and emergency vehicles. There is a tempo 30 regulation on the bridge, on the carriageway, and there is a very important side effect to mention, and this is the traffic calming impact in the larger downtown area around the bridge on both sides of the Danube. You can see some old pictures. The first one showing wooden squares in the middle of the bridge as a cover. And in the second bridge, you can see that cars already ruled the bridge in the 1960s, despite of the very small number of cars in Budapest and in Hungary. Jumping to 1989, so just before the changes, you can see a two-lane roundabout on the right side of the Danube next to the bridge, and a complete gridlock, although tourism was almost non-existent at that time. Jumping to the year 2000, congestion periods got longer, and it was really a problem already for public transport because buses were standing in the queue. Cycling was quite hard at that time, and also the air quality was quite bad. On the next slide, you can see the development of the regulation of cycling on the chain bridge. The green years are when cycling were legal. The red years where cycling on the carriageway were prohibited, although towing on the sidewalk was legal. And you can see that in the past 13 years, cycling was completely legal, but because of the gridlock, because of the traffic jam, problems and situations like on the right side occurred quite often. Some words about the role of the chain bridge in the main cycling network. After the reconstruction, it became one of the best, one of the most important links between the two sides of the Danube. First of all, between the two sides of the downtown, where cycling traffic is quite major. And the new regulation, which allows walking, cycling freely on the bridge, this helped for our strategic goals in the promotion of cycling. You can see the situation, which is typical currently. Cycling, happy cycling people, buses in a congestion-free area, and some taxis going through the bridge. It's important to mention that according to our strategic goals, the dimension of the road capacity we measure in people instead of vehicles. And you can see that with this ideology, pictures like this can be proof of truth that public transport and sustainable individual transport modes are much more effective than car transport, especially in bottlenecks like this in a dense city. There was a decision after COVID times, after the pandemic, that if there is a big investment, a reconstruction of any major road, we will not give back lanes for car traffic. Instead, we will reallocate space for cycling, walking, and other sustainable transport modes wherever we can. Another key measure is the communication pillar around the project. There was an online voting which really prevented political compromises along the process. In the communication, we used a framing where we emphasized that the car-free chain bridge is not a cycling issue, it's a capacity issue. It's an issue for providing more space for public transport, providing more space for people using public buses through the bridge. And therefore, mayor and the institutions openly campaigned for it. We held events and festivals already in the reconstruction phase around the bridge and on the bridge. And because of the low traffic volume relatively, if you compare it with the other beaches and other parts of the city, there was a relatively small resistance. Mostly government media was resisting, and this turned to be in a quite low voting turnout. Other political questions were emerged in residents' assembly, and it's important to mention that the whole new regulation, the traffic management was low tech. So in the communication, it was many times mentioned that it is very easy to reverse if anybody wants it. You can see some numbers about the role of the bridge, and you can see that before or after the reconstruction, the share of road traffic on Budapest Danube bridges was served by mainly the other bridges. Only 2% of any car transit was provided on this chain bridge, which really shows that it's relatively or quasi car free. Some words about the modal split on the chain bridge, because we measure regularly. For example, on the day of 6th of September in 2023, which is a typical Wednesday, we conducted a full traffic count on the chain bridge on both directions. We used the camera image analysis, and you can see that the majority of passing people are pedestrians. So more than half of the people crossing the bridge on that day were using walking as a transport mode. 1/4 of the people used public buses, and another fourth of the people use taxis or cycling or e-scooters or motorbikes. Altogether, if we're talking about trip data, we can say that only 6% of vehicle traffic of all bridges is on chain bridge. Daily trips are at around 50,000 altogether. I emphasize again that more than 50% is walking. And it is important to mention that, the numbers are differ reasons, because of better weather attract more cyclists, of course. And we have to mention that the traffic volume of taxis are still rising. If you are interested in more deep data, you can really Google BKK mobility reports. We have a lot of reports about Chainbridge and other places as well. Just really fast, I didn't translate this slide, but you can see that the time of the crossing of the public buses on the bridge got really faster. You can see before and after numbers and percentages of crossing times before the new regulation and after the new regulation. This is the proof that it really promotes public transport and attracts public transport users. Question is, where did the first go? And we can say as ever that there has been an evaporation of traffic. So we could experience an increase of traffic in the neighboring bridges, but altogether, if we compare with the COVID times, the car traffic decreased. And basically, the impact of the new regulation was not tangible if we are talking about congestion on other bridges. What's next? Because I really would like to be transparent, and I would like to also talk about problems or challenges. We have a big challenge with enforcing Tempo 30. Perceived safety of cycling is heavily disturbed by speeding taxi drivers. Is heavily distracted also about the overtaking distance of taxis, although legally not allowed overtaking. Taxis are overtaking, crossing the continuous line. I have mentioned that there is a quite nice and safe crosswalk on the Pest side, which attracts more than 9,000 people per day. But still, there are potential for more cycling-friendly measures on connecting streets and roads on both sides. On the Buda side, on the right side of the Danube, there is a tunnel, which is not cycling-friendly. So a very important part of cycling network. So this is something we have in front of us. And very important to mention that the chain bridge is not standing alone in itself. There are connecting projects heavily based on EU funding and some government ownership. One of the most important projects are the riverbank on the left side of the Danube. We open it up, we make it car-free every single weekend this summer from March till August. It's tactical urbanistic measure connecting to the chain bridge. You can see what happens there. And it is heavily connected with the car-free characteristic of the chain bridge. Many times at events, people use together the chain bridge and the car-free riverbank. This is the future plan for it, connecting to the bridge. To brief it up, some words about what the chain bridge taught us, what we can learn from this. First of all, infrastructure design guides behavior change a lot. So modal shift is possible if we make an important bottleneck like this car-free. good planning and data in the background is very important and useful for that. And district level interventions amplify central transformations. That's for sure true. The chain bridge is an icon. The chain bridge is a role model, and we hope that this will be an inspiration for other cities as well. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peter. It's a great presentation and really great example of this modern transport planning in which we move away from traditional transport planning in which we focus mainly on cars. So really great example of space reallocation and giving back space to people and promoting active mobility. Thank you for the presentation. Hopefully we'll have some questions.
Thanks.
At the end, we have two more presentations. The fourth one will be from the factual consulting. They will present us a lane patrol tool, and they are in cooperation with the EIT Urban Mobility. So we will have two presenters. First, we will hear the Carolina Garcia from the EIT. She will say what's the connection between the factual consulting, and after that, Mr. Jose Gutierrez will present us this innovative tool for cycling transport. Okay, Carolina, if you want to share your presentation.
Yes, that will be great. I'm sharing my slides now. Can you see them?
Yes, we can see them.
Yes. Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you for the invitation to present today. I'm Carolina, part of EIT Urban Mobility, and the idea today is to share with you Lane Patrol, a cycling assessment tool developed by Factual, one of our partners. Factual is part of our network, which is the largest European innovation community for urban mobility created by the EIT, which is the European Institute of Innovation and Technology. And our mission is to help cities meet the demanding climate goals for 2030 and 2050. So we have different activities, projects, and initiatives, and one of our pillars is an innovation program. And through this program, we invest in scalable products that generate impact in cities, contributing to sustainable mobility in Europe. So through our main innovation goal, we contributed with Factual in the SCREEN project on infrastructure assessment last year until the month of February of 2025. And through this project and together with other partners, Factual developed pedestrian, which is a tool that assess cycling infrastructure through imaging technology and provides efficient and accurate evaluations of the cycling infrastructure. So through project data and the solution in countries, Herzegovina and Spain, and also Factual has different success cases with other cities and other places in Europe. So now I just want to hand it over to Jose from Factual so he can explain and give an overview of the tool of Lane Patrol and share with you other success cases with the tool. Of course, you can contact me in case you want to participate in the upcoming call in June, or you are interested in getting to know more about ERT urban mobility. Jose, the floor is yours.
Thanks a lot, Carolina. So I'm gonna share my screen. I think. Yeah, I think. Here it is. So thank you, everyone. I'm Jose, and I'm presenting. I think I already did it. Attractive. And just a little bit of the context. Carolina already mentioned that I come from Factual. Factual is an innovation consulting firm focused on mobility, and I am actually in charge of one of the 5 axes that a Factual develops, which is the factory. So Factual, as I said, is working with innovation. Part of it is doing research, collaboration, thought leadership, but one big part is the factory. The factory basically is a solution builder with technology, with the challenges that we've seen during along other projects, and that's why from the factory we have developed other tools. But I'm going to focus on Lane Patrol, which is the one that I'm leading. A little bit of the context, and probably the people that are here already know, but cycling is gaining momentum. Declaration on cycling is already on. The European Parliament wants to double cycling by 2030. So actually the EAT urban mobility is aligned with these years, let's say. So doubling cycling by 2030 compared to 2023. Obviously this is challenging. And obviously we always have good examples like Amsterdam. We check these examples and probably you've seen something like this. You have the mayor saying, yeah, well, yeah, Amsterdam, but we are not Amsterdam. Well, I'm using this from the guys from the University of Amsterdam saying, well, neither Amsterdam was Amsterdam a few decades ago. This is from the 60s. So you can see the same spot in the 60s in Amsterdam. And a little bit more recent, and I'm talking about the place where I live now, Barcelona. This is 8 years difference. As you can see, I mean, you can tell me where you want to live. You don't want to live in 2016, you want to live in 2024 in this avenue called Conseil Descent. So now we have convinced the mayor. We say, oh yeah, we're going to build a cycling city. And then once you start analyzing what to do, you go talk to the people and say like, oh no, it's not safe to cycle with my kids in here. Or it's dangerous on that street. Or that cycle lane is not connected. Many, many different issues. So the mayor says, oh, where do we start? And this is exactly where we started with Lane Patrol. What we do with Lane Patrol is that we assess the safety of cycling infrastructure. We use it with methodology, with a standard, the international methodology, and with technology. This is what we do. How do we do it? Basically, we collect data. This data comes in terms of imagery, sort of like Google Street View images. We have a mobile app to collect images every 10 meters. So we mount this mobile app on any bicycle. We press start. We start circulating, it starts collecting images, and then with those images, every 10 meters, we characterize the data. So using AI and other toolings, we characterize it. We say what is in there. It's sort of having like a digital twin with characteristics of the cycling infrastructure. And with those characteristics, we build, so we analyze the risk on each of them, we analyze the flows where it is more relevant, and then we create scenarios for improvement. So we tell the mayor what to do. As I was saying, this is the mobile app. We're using different tools. And actually, this is very interesting because with a partnership we did in the Screen project with the EIT Urban Mobility, we collaborated with a company called Social Tech that allows us to improve the AI analysis. But we also use other type of sources, including data from European satellites. Actually, we check the slopes in the infrastructure with the data that we can get from the European constellation of satellites. I said earlier that we use an international standard in international methodology. We're using CycleRap. This is a methodology coming from IRAP, the International Road Assessment Program. And we're basically using this because IRAP has been working for over a decade. Their methodologies have been used in over 100 countries, over 1.5 million kilometers have been assessed of roads to analyze their safety. And now CycleRap is their new methodology, and I'm saying new, even though it's been there for 3 years, 4 years, but it is focused on cycling infrastructure, not just roads, but actually cycling infrastructure. And we are one of the first trusted suppliers to deliver CycleRap. What CycleRap analyzes, I said that we collect images from the infrastructure, and there are 4 categories of attributes or variables that are analyzed. Speeds and volumes that are not checked with imagery. We use other technology to collect flows and speeds from vehicles, from bicycles. But with the imagery, we actually analyze facility context attributes such as what's right next to the cycling infrastructure, whether there is a road with cars passing, whether there's a sidewalk. And also we go and check the next category, is intersections. We check how are the intersections, since it is a big part of where accidents could happen. Intersections are one specific category of the attributes. And then we have the last one, which is the facility features. So basically what is happening on the facility. Either there is delineation or painting, there is some segregation or barriers on the side. We check if there are obstacles, how is the surface, what's the width of the cycle lane, whether it's one way or two way. And just I'm going to add, for this methodology, it is intended for existing cycling infrastructure, but also potential new cycling infrastructure. So we can analyze any road, and I'm going to come back to that in a minute. So once we have characterized it with the over 40 attributes coming from CycleWrap, we analyze the risk of each 10-meter section, and we give a risk score according to CycleWrap. We go from low to extreme risk. And just a little bit of the brackets, we're part of another European project called Phoebe, in which we're working to convert these scores, these colors, into the number of several injured people and deaths that are saved based on the change of the scoring and the infrastructure. Close the brackets. I will come back to you later with that, I hope in less than a year. But then coming with this, so we analyze the risk for different levels, but we not only analyze the global risk score, we analyze 4 different types of conflicts. So conflicts of bicycles with vehicles, bicycles with other bicycles, bicycles with pedestrians, and bicycles with anything that is not with the presence of objects or even a wall, for example. So as you can see, always from the point of view of cyclists or also light mobility users. Here are some examples of the type of infrastructure that we have analyzed. As you can see, it could be very varied type of infrastructure. It could be an off-road, on-road, mixed road. It could be a specific cycle lane. So different type of infrastructure. And you can see we give specific score for each type of conflicts that I mentioned before: vehicles, bicycles, pedestrians, and objects. And also we get the overall score. This is one example of the type of analysis we can do. We can do a full analysis of a network, as we did in Skopje in Northern Macedonia. We analyze in here the 140 kilometers that they have of existing cycling infrastructure with focus. So the city wanted to analyze or compare what were the risks between the main avenues or where there were a lot of cars versus secondary infrastructure or facilities. And now we go from the analysis of risk to the next stage. What I said earlier, that we create scenarios. So we have this scenario tool, automatic scenario tool. So based on the data that we have, and for each section, we said, okay, as you can see here on the lower right corner, we have a 34.87 risk score according to CycleWrap, so red. But what we do is that we've created 3 automated scenarios for this specific section. So we say that if for this specific section, you will upgrade the existing facility to an on-road bicycle lane with safety barrier. So basically, keep it on road, but adding a barrier separating vehicles from the cycle lane, you will go down 9 in the score. So you will go from red, high score, to green, low score. And you also have other type of interventions. So installing traffic calming or installing light segregation that are not as efficient as the first one, but you have it ordered in terms of what will be more efficient. Sometimes adding a barrier is not something accepted because of local regulation or whatever. So you have different options to implement. I show you a section in which you can implement different interventions. But what if you want to implement a project in the whole project? I'm showing you this example in Oxford. For this project in Oxford, what we did was an analysis of a off-road and on-road bicycle lanes. We did a comparison. And for this one, we created different scenarios. In this one, we added segregation wherever the data was telling us that it was recommended to add segregation. So you have on the left the current status, and on the right, what will happen if you implement that implementation, so adding segregation. So you see that you have 32% of high 4, you will move down to 6%. And actually have 3% of extreme risk, which is actually disappears. We have 0.13% of that. So this is a very efficient implementation in this project in Oxford. I just want to say, in Oxford, we didn't analyze the whole network. We just analyzed some routes that were commanded to us to analyze these off-road and on-road cycling facilities. Now, in Abu Dhabi, we actually analyzed one route where there was no cycling infrastructure at all. It was a road, but the city wants its planning. There's a lot of cyclists, mostly during the weekends. This is like a leisure type of trip. So they said, okay, can you tell us what we can do here? So we analyze the current state, and then we created different scenarios. What would happen if they implement different implementations for the whole route? So as you can see, not only for existing cycling infrastructure, but also for new one. So the mayor said, thank you, Lane Patrol. Now we know what we do. These are some of the projects that we've had. As you can see, we had some projects a little bit over the place, mainly Europe. We're based in Barcelona and actually also in Portugal, in Lisbon. The technical team is in Portugal. But we're working mostly in Europe, but we had a couple of projects outside, from analyzing one specific route, and like in Abu Dhabi, and we are actually doing now one project also in Barcelona, and to analyzing the whole network as we did in Skopje. What's next for us? We want to continue helping more cities to implement smart plans to improve their cycling infrastructure, understanding it, characterizing it, having the digital twin, and then make the smart plans for them. We want to continue working with the cities that we've worked before. So we want to monitor the implementations, see if there's some work that has been done, and analyze the new status of the infrastructure and new services. And I'm just going to use 2 minutes to explain why I'm talking about new services, because this came after we had a project in the metropolitan area of Barcelona, in Sant Boi, it's called the city. We were to do an analysis of routes connecting to schools. Turned out that we ended up building an app to make bike bus possible. What is bike bus? It's like a regular bus, but without the bus. It's just a monitor collecting kids in a set route and set stops to cycle together to school. So we did this. We ended up doing this. It was a need for the schools. And then second thing we have now another project in which we're using the same story, but with intermediary vehicles. So this is a big bicycle that is taking kids. Some of them are too little to cycle. They don't know how to cycle. So it's the same thing, a bike bus accompanied by this intermediate vehicle. So what we do here is we analyze the routes, the safety of the routes for bicycles, but also the specific needs for this type of vehicle. So we do the analysis, and then we have the mobile app to implement these bike bus services. So this is it. This is Lane Patrol, and if you have any questions, I'll be around here.
Thank you, Mr. Gutierrez. Thank you for showing the cities what you can do. Definitely something applicable and needed by the most of the cities, since we all know that the cities often lack data. So the data collection, giving to the cities the data in which they can see what should they do, it's quite impressive. Also, it's really nice to see that you worked with the city of Skopje. They are one of our members in the Terrain project, so great. And hopefully our next speaker can also say something about applicability of this tool in the city of Zagreb, since the city of Zagreb is trying to make a great model shift towards active and shared mobility, and they are trying to expand infrastructure for cycling. So we can continue with our last speaker today. It's Miss Darinka Juk from the city of Zagreb. She will present a Greenway project in the city of Zagreb. Miss Darinka, if you want to share your presentation, feel free to do so, or I can share it for you.
And 9. I'm here.
Yeah, okay.
You
Thank you.
didn't,
Thank you.
you
Thank you.
didn't hear me because I forget to turn on the mic. Sorry.
Okay.
You can share it, my presentation, and I will take the control of the.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
It's no problem. And I will not talk too much about the data collection in Zagreb because my presentation is about Greenway and cycling infrastructure. But if you're interested, we can discuss later or send me a mail or something like that.
Okay.
About collecting data, that's another issue.
Can you see the screen?
No. No, I see you. I see Peter, and I
You
don't
don't see the
have.
presentation.
No.
Yeah, my colleague is saying that she sees the presentation. Maybe we'll wait a few more seconds.
Okay, I can start because we haven't much time. If we are the next 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's-
Can someone from the audience say if they can see the presentation?
Yes, we can see it. At least I
Okay.
can see it.
Yeah, I can see it as
So,
well.
Ms. Danica, only you don't see it, but I know that you don't need the
Yeah,
presentation to present
I
it.
saw all the presentation till now. Okay, can you give me permission to share the presentation from my? I don't have it upstairs. Just a second.
Yeah, we can see your presentation.
Yes, great.
Yep, thank you.
It's more easy for me. Okay. My name is Darinka, and I'm from city of Zagreb. Thank you for invitation. I will talk about the biggest project of cycling infrastructure, I think, in this, not just in Croatia, but in this part of Europe. The name is Greenway. The goal when we start before 10 years, almost 11 years, was very big. It's 132 kilometers of bicycle path by the river Sava. On this picture, you can see the map of the city of Zagreb, and on the left side, some data. This yellow, it's all in the bank by the river Sava, and this is all the cover, will be covered with the bicycle parts, Greenway. When we started before 11 years, because we are the city and our partner was in pilot project, the Zagreb County, the people didn't believe we will build anything, not just a Greenway. This blue parts, what you see, that's some parts of the network of cycling parts in the city of Zagreb. It's not finished, it's not connection, but the idea was basic to make a highway, to make the very safety bicycle part through the Zagreb and connect the another country and another country like Slovenia, and on the east to connect another country, Zagreb County, and the small towns around the Zagreb. To promote not just the urban cycling, but promote the cycle tourism, promote to cycling on the safety at pleasure way. It's very important because a lot of people in Zagreb and all around in the big cities, they don't feel security when they ride the bike in the urban area. They afraid of the riding. They take care about the kids. But if you have, I will told like a playground in the middle of the city where you can enjoy riding a bike, you will use this bike on these other parts in the town. How to do it? That's the question of the $1 million because Carolina in the last presentation says building the cycling infrastructure is very slow and expensive. That's true. We start before almost 7 years with the project, but we put this all 132 kilometers in the different phase. Every phase what you see on this map can be built by self and can be in use by self. That was very important because a lot of money and a very expensive project. You cannot expect of the government of the city to give so much money in the cycling infrastructure. But you must show something to the people, see and feel how it will be like in the future. What did we do? I will not read this all. The next of the chart. You see a feasibility study from before 2 years. They said the whole project, because every year the prices go up for the buildings, etc. And the study says we will need more of 100 million euros for all the project. But this is finished before years. That first something less of 2 kilometers of the Greenway. It's connect on the south side of the bank of Sava. And you see on the next picture. In the bridge, this is pedestrian, cycling pedestrian, small bridge, and only bridge for pedestrians and cyclists, only for them on the river Sava in our town. It's connected, and it shows how it will be looked like all 132 kilometers. But what happened, we of course have the elections every 4 years, and this project of the national level is important for national, but we have in the local government, and to find the money for to build some, it's not easy. But what is important, for the first time in Croatia, we put on our cycling infrastructure eco asphalt. Why that's important? We start with the new technology in cycling infrastructure, and yes, it's more money than for basic asphalt, but we do it this project in the nature. We want to keep it not just quality of air, quality of soil, but view with this green asphalt. It's very important when you do it something to do it not for the now, do it for the future. And what happened, the new city of mayor before 1 year in October last year, they decide to follow this phase, and we now building the 6th phase. That's not just 2 kilometers, now that's almost 10 kilometers. And what happened, and maybe it's very important because I listen very carefully bicycle about this in Barcelona. Today was a press conference of our mayor, where they represent our new system of the public bikes in Zagreb. We made the contract, and we will start during the next 3 months. We will have the system in Zagreb too. And for that system and for everything else, it's very important to have the place where you can ride the bike safety. This picture is from the last week, and this film too. The work is in progress. That's very important. This film, and this is this sixth phase, what is very important because it's in middle of the town, and we don't have in Budapest the city. It's not living on the town. Like you see, we have a lot of green area by the river Sava. On one side, that's good because we keep it this heart, green heart in the middle of the town. On another side, we miss a lot of bridges to connect these two parts, and the cycling infrastructure is the best way to connect these parts of Zagreb and bring the people river in a very sustainable way. And for the end, I was checking, yes, 10 minutes. My granddaughter said, stop talking, start doing. It's very important in the beginning. Okay, we are not finished. We will have to the end of this year something more than 12 kilometers of the Greenway, but we want to have it 132 kilometers. For that, it's very important. Think big, start small, and act now. And my granddaughter will say, stop talking, start doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Darinka, for your great presentation for the city of Zagreb. It's really nice to see the city of Zagreb is all moving towards sustainability. We've seen the presentation from Barcelona, and in which they presented perfect systems, and the city of Zagreb is also trying to change the mobility in the city. So we hope that you will achieve it, and as citizens of Zagreb, we hope that we will have soon the quality alternative to passenger cars. So that's it. We've heard all the presentations. I hope you enjoyed. I'm checking the Q&A session and it is empty. Some of our speakers had to go since we are over time for 10 minutes. So if we can have 3 or 4 minutes more, if you have some specific question for factual or for the city of Zagreb, they are still with us.
It's not problem for the data is about the project. You can send me the email you have on the presentation. I will send you back.
Yeah, thank you. All the speakers are welcoming any questions and they are willing to answer. So if you have some questions, you can leave it in the chat or you can send it by email. If you now. Thank you for the speakers. The presentations were great. I think that we covered quite well the active and shared mobility field. So thanks a lot. Hopefully you will stay in touch through this project and other projects. And to all the attendees, thank you for joining. Hopefully you've seen something new, you've learned something new, and see you all on some other webinar on our terrain project. We will keep you posted.
Thank you for your invitation.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Bye.
much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.